Deconstruction of Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight for GPGD 409.
Deconstructing a game requires looking at a number of elements, including those listed below.
I will be focusing on the level of player agency and the gameplay experience. The strength of the franchise comes from this legacy based upon its player agency and the player experience. Command & Conquer players have a set level of expectation with regards to their agency, primarily focused on base building, resource harvesting, the ability to climb the technology tree, and lastly, the combat system, which involves a multi-branch army with support powers and super weapons. The player's expectations of their agency are in turn what create their expectations of their experience and how it would be fun to play. However, Tiberium Twilight failed to deliver on both. The level of agency available to the player has evolved with each iteration. I will focus on Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars. The level of agency available is shown below. Here you can see clearly base construction, resource harvesting, how the player would climb the tech tree, player building an army, fast-paced combat, and lastly, a variety of support powers.
In contrast, Tiberium Twilight grants the player an illusion of agency.
Your base, barracks, war factory, and airfield are circled here. The average army size as shown is actually 11 units.
Therefore, the poor experience is created by designers who failed to understand the game's legacy and then create a game with the expected levels of player agency. Tiberium Twilight was originally an online game, and it was changed to become the Tiberium Saga Conclusion. This decision was made at a time when EA was losing money, and fans believe that Tiberium Twilight was created to essentially milk the fan base. In 2003, EA acquired Westwood Studios, but Westwood's staff would leave almost immediately due to a number of issues as cited below. New designers failed to grasp the franchise and its legacy, created a form of designer myopia, which led the game in a new direction unwanted by fans. As shown, this new direction was an attempted paradigm shift to create FPS-style gameplay in an RTS game. This myopia include following trends from the first-person shooter genre applied to Tiberium Twilight. These mechanics were poorly copied and implemented. Furthermore, designers failed to account for the need to have multiple gameplay modes in multiplayer, which is what keeps players returning to FPS games. Tiberium Twilight failed to live up to the Command & Conquer franchise legacy because it failed to give players their expected level of agency, which in turn would have created their expected gameplay experience. This was primarily due to new designers on staff who did not understand the legacy, who also lacked the creative direction of their predecessors, and thus myopically took the game down a new unwanted path. Lastly, I list the design changes that must be made to restore Tiberium Twilight to being a Command & Conquer game.